Good morning, everyone. It is 8:30 on Monday, June 27th, and it's time for a morning briefing. Snapshot of the region this morning. Updated numbers are as of today for the unaccompanied children. No changes to our declarations. Updated numbers there in the screen for the damage assessments that are going on in Texas. Oklahoma was complete last week. And no fire management grant request to talk about this morning. Now as we switch over to the Geo platform, things are relatively quiet around the region. Brian's going to have a weather update for us in just a moment. No changes at the national level. Both are at level 4 steady state, as is the region. All of our state EOCs are at level 4 steady state. Louisiana does continue to have the crisis action team on standby if they need them. Looking at our management teams this morning. Team 1 is deployed to Texas. Team 2 is green and available if we need them. Shelters this morning. Texas continues to have one shelter open with 90 occupants. The number of shelters and the number of occupants have been trending down slowly over the last couple of weeks. Power outages are busy this morning. Arkansas has 3,000, down from 7,700 in the last 24 hours. Louisiana, 1,000, down from 1,900. New Mexico, 200, down from 300. Oklahoma has 6,000, and 6,000 is the peak for the last 24 hours. And Texas has 3,400, down from 9,400 in the last 24 hours. The doghead fire that we reported on last week is now 83% contained with no change in the size. And now we'll turn it over to Brian.
Okay, happy Monday morning, everybody. There's some activity on the radar right now, and over in West Texas, near San Angelo, we did have some heavier rains overnight and some flash flood reports there in the San Angelo area. That activity should be dying down over the next couple of hours. Similarly, over in southeast Louisiana, we have some heavy rain, but that'll also start to be dying down in the next couple of hours. Later on this afternoon, though, we do have an isolated threat for severe thunderstorms, primarily damaging winds and hail. Also, possible isolated flash flooding over Arkansas and into northern portions of Louisiana, northeast Texas, eastern Oklahoma, and then a smaller area over northwest Oklahoma as well. Taking a look at the rainfall and rivers, we do have things are just improving continually for the rivers. Just one point now, one lowly point down there on the Trinity at Liberty, maintaining moderate river flooding levels. Otherwise, we're minor or less. There's a point there in northern Louisiana that looks like it's in major, and that's just bad data there for those that are wondering there. We do have some heavier rainfall amounts over northern Oklahoma that you can see in the graphic there, and that's going to be later on this week. Tropics remain quiet over the next 5 days. That's good news there. And after we get past today with the isolated severe thunderstorm and heavy rain flash flooding threat, really not much to speak of for the rest of the week as far as impacts are concerned. So for today, there's the darker green areas that are highlighted over primarily Arkansas and then northwest Oklahoma. And again, that'll be primarily damaging winds and hail and isolated flash flooding. You can see the rainfall amounts there. Nothing too extreme to write home about, but again, could be some isolated heavier rainfall amounts. Tomorrow, just some general thunderstorms across most of the region, isolated, and not expecting anything in the way of severe weather or flooding for tomorrow. And then by Wednesday, much of the same, just general thunderstorms for a good portion of the region except for Arkansas. And then, again, nothing in the way of severe weather or flooding on Wednesday. taking a look at the drought, we're in pretty good shape. We've been there for a while. The only areas that have any sort of drought are over in New Mexico, and that'll start to improve over the next few months as we're entering into the monsoon season. So we'll start to see activity pick up out over in New Mexico for the summertime. Space weather is really quiet with no impacts to the region, and that's all I've got, unless there's any questions.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. If you have any questions for the Weather Service, you know what to do. And in the chat window, Phil tells us that the Doghead fire is now 90% contained. Snapshot of the region this week. What's going on around? The picnic on Thursday out at North Lake Park. And today is National Orange Blossom Day, National PTSD Awareness Day. The trivia question for today is, which one of these Atlantic hurricanes was Category 5 the longest? I'm seeing some answers coming in. And Bruno stumps you today. Allen, 1980, Category 5 for 3 days. Any questions this morning? All right, everyone, have a great Monday. We'll talk to you tomorrow.